What if I told you that you do not need to go viral to make $3,000 to $5,000 a month as a content creator? And what if I told you that you do not even need followers for something like this? Like actually zero. Now, I know that sounds insane, but I am telling you there is a way to start earning in weeks without relying on the constant swings of the algorithm, the mood swings and the craziness. And in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how I've done it and how my students, how some of them as total beginners land $1,000 to $3,000 deals without ever posting on their own accounts. So, hey guys, I'm Jaro, and over the past few years, I've had the chance to work with some of the biggest brands in the world, including Warner Records, GoPro, T-Mobile, Kellogg's, and many other brands, right? And that work has led to consistent $10,000 months and partnerships that ultimately changed my entire life and career. And along the way, I have also grown an audience of over 3 million followers online, but going viral had nothing to do with my breakthrough. In fact, at the beginning of my journey, I had millions of views, but I had no money to show for it, right? I was still broke. And the real reason that I broke through was because I discovered a strategy that works without followers and without going viral, right? So here is what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna teach you the 4 steps that you can use to start landing $1,000 to $3,000 brand deals and scale up to $5,000 a month consistently. And all 4 steps are built around one strategy. It's a strategy that I use and 200 of my students use to land $1,000 to $3,000 deals in the matter of weeks. And that strategy is called UGC. So what is UGC? Now, before we get into the exact steps, I want to talk a bit about what UGC really is, because if you're new, the term can sound like some sort of secret marketing code, right? UGC basically stands for user-generated content. So basically, it's any content, photos, videos, reviews created by real people, not an ad agency. You see, when a brand needs content, they usually have 2 options. They could hire their own video production team to make professional content and ads, or they could work with creators or influencers who create content for them. And UGC basically sits as in the middle, right? So brands get content from people just like you and me that feels real and authentic without spending a huge amount of budget on marketing and production. And here's the best part. When it comes to UGC, brands don't care if you have followers. They care if you can make content that looks and feels real. And if you're wondering what's the difference between an influencer and a UGC creator, here's what you need to know. Now, influencers are paid for their audience. Their main value comes from the people that already follow them. But with UGC creators, it's completely different, because UGC creators are paid for their skills. The brand takes their content and uses it on their accounts, their ads, their social media accounts, their websites. So you can think about it like this. If social media was a restaurant, an influencer would be the person who brings all of the customers in and fills up the tables. And they're valuable because they can fill up the tables. But a UGC creator is different. You know, they're like the chef in the kitchen. They create the meal, the content that keeps people coming back. And right now, brands are paying serious money for that. We're talking $150, $250, sometimes even $1,000 per video, which is pretty epic, right? So now you know what UGC is, but here's the problem most people get stuck with right here. They understand the idea of UGC, but they don't know how to go from making random videos to landing actual paying clients. But do not worry, I'm gonna walk you through everything that you need to know, so by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do tomorrow morning to start making some moves towards that $3,000 to $5,000 a month. So let's get right into it. Step number 1 is gonna be to pick your niche. Step 1, and trust me, this is gonna save you a ton of hours and a ton of wasted time, is to pick a niche. And I've seen so many people make this mistake. They try to be everything for everyone all on day 1. So one day they're making a skincare video, the next day is travel gear, the next is dog food or videos of their cat. And in the end, brands can't figure out where they fit. But if a skincare brand opens up your portfolio and all they see are skincare styled videos, they immediately think, wow, this right here is a creator that gets us. And that creates instant trust before you even spoke to the brand. And here's how you figure out what to focus on in the beginning. First, you go to the TikTok Creative Center or the Meta Ads library. These are free tools that literally show you the ads brands are running right now. So just type in a product category. It could be skincare, coffee, supplements, travel gear, whatever catches your interest. Now, here's the most important part. You want to watch the ads that are currently running right now. And most of what you'll see will actually be UGC. So that would be handheld phone videos, real people talking to camera, quick product shots, stuff that looks nothing like a fancy studio ad, right? So while you're watching, you want to take some notes. You want to write some notes down. So what kind of hooks are they using in the first 3 seconds? Are they face to camera, hands only, or pure B-roll videos? How do they show the product? Do they show close-ups, lifestyle shots, problem solution videos, right? What tone do they use? Are they friendly? Are they urgent? Are they funny? Are they calming? And this is basically free market research. So you're seeing exactly what's already performing in your niche. Most people skip this step and they just wing it. Then they scratch their heads when no brands actually want to work with them, right? Even after months of producing content. And that's why studying ads in your niche immediately puts you ahead of 90% of beginner creators. All right, so that's the foundation. Now let's move on to step number 2, and that is growth hacking your portfolio. So now that you've picked your industry and you've been stocking ads in TikTok Creative Center and Meta Ads Library, it's time to make something brands actually see. And here is the good news, right? You don't need a client to do this. You don't even need to buy anything new in picking that product. So what we're doing here is we're gonna be making spec ads, which are short example videos that look and feel like the UGC ads that brands are already running. Okay, so let me explain. This isn't a brand shoot. You're just showing what you can do. You can do this in 3 simple steps. And if you follow them, you'll have proof of your skills by the end of the day. So step number 1 is to grab a product from your house. You could grab anything around your house. You can walk around your room, your kitchen, your bathroom, anywhere. Find 3 to 5 products that match your niche. And if you pick travel, grab your backpack, your camera bag, maybe your travel coffee kit. And if you pick fitness, grab your shaker bottle, your resistance bands, or supplements, right? It doesn't matter if these brands have never heard of you before. We're not pitching these brands. We're showing the style of content that you can make for any brand inside of your niche and in that industry. So step number 2 is to find a product idea and track down the company behind it that you could shortcut. And you can also shortcut this with ChatGPT. So you want to go to ChatGPT and use a prompt like, what are the brand deal opportunities I can have if my niche is travel gear? Also provide me with products and benefits. So ChatGPT will give you a handful of ideas, and all you need to do is pick one product that grabs your attention. And now it's time to find out who's selling it and how they're marketing it. So you want to go back into the ads library on TikTok Creative Center and research for that product name. If ads are running, you'll see exactly which company owns it, plus the style of content that they're using, right? Step number 3 is to be copying what's working. Stealing like an artist is what we say. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Now, you're going to recreate the structure of the ads that you've studied. If the winning ad started with a strong hook, you start with a strong hook. If they used close-up shots of the product in someone's hands, you do the same. And if they showed a quick before and after, copy that format, right? This isn't stealing, it's modeling a structure that's already proven to work. So you want your video to feel like it could run alongside these ads right now, and no one would know it coming from your living room, right? So once you've got these 3 to 5 short videos, you've just built up a starter portfolio. So when you reach out to brands, you're not saying, I promise I can make great content for you. You're saying, look, here's exactly what I can do for you. All right, now we are cooking, right? So you've just boosted your portfolio. Now we need to get it in front of the brands that will actually pay you. And for that, we are moving on to step number 3, the pitch perfect playbook. Now, remember how I said that you don't need a huge following to find paying clients? That doesn't mean it isn't easy. It's easy work, right? You still have to put in the effort, and many people forget that brands don't sit around waiting to magically discover you. You've got to put yourself in front of them. And you do that with a pitch that is short, specific, and backed up with proof. But the good news is that you've already created that proof in step number 2, right? There are 2 main ways to land work: cold pitching and using UGC platforms. So I recommend you use both because they each have their own strengths, right? Let's start with cold pitching. Cold pitching means that you can reach out directly to a brand that you want to work with. The big advantage here is that you have control. So you can choose who you pitch. You can target brands that you actually vibe with and that you want inside of your portfolio. And this also opens the door for bigger long-term deals because you're starting a relationship from scratch, right? Now, here's exactly how to do it. I want you to go back into the TikTok Creative Center or Meta Ads library and look at the brands that you found earlier. If they're already spending money on ads, they're way more likely to invest in UGC. So you make a list of 10 to 20 brands, and then for each one, find the right contact, ideally somebody in marketing, and that could be a marketing manager that you find on LinkedIn, which is a really easy way to find contacts, a brand partnerships contact on Instagram, or even a dedicated email on their website. So when you send the pitch, keep it simple, introduce yourself, say that you make short form UGC for that niche that you're reaching out in, and link one spec ad that matches their style. A key point here is to make it personal. So you send one of the spec ads that you've created directly to that brand in a private message or email, not post it on your public portfolio where it looks like you've worked with them before, right? You don't want to do that. That little bit of effort makes a huge difference. It shows that you're not just blasting the same template to 100 companies, you actually take the time to think about them. So let's talk about UGC platforms real quick. One of my favorite platforms for beginners is Join Brands. So you can think of it like a dating app, but for creators and brands. So you create a profile, upload your portfolio, and brands can post offers that you can apply for. So the cool thing about Join Brands is that they certify creators, which gives you extra credibility, and it's a quick way to start getting paid work, even if you have zero experience, because brands on the platform are already looking for UGC creators. So you can also use Join Brands as a credibility booster when you're reaching out through cold pitching. So for example, you can mention in your pitch that you're a certified creator on Join Brands, which signals to the brand that you're vetted and serious. So there are other platforms too. You could also use Tribe, Billow, Trend.io, Incense, and they all work similarly. You sign up, set up your profile, and apply for gigs. You can also find opportunities by searching directly on X or LinkedIn. So you just type in terms like UGC creator, hiring content creator, or your niche plus UGC, and you'll see brands and marketers actively posting calls for creators. Now, my advice is to treat platforms as your quick win, right? Your quick win strategy, and cold pitching as a big picture strategy. So you use the platforms to get paid experience and add real client work to your portfolio fast. But you use cold pitching to go after the dream brands that you want long-term relationships with, the ones that can pay you $1,000 to $3,000 a month consistently. So you do that consistently, a few cold pitches a day, plus applying for offers on platforms, and you'll be surprised how quickly you get that first yes, how that first yes comes in. And that's exactly what step 4 is all about, turning one yes into a content machine that pays you more and more and keeps the brand coming back. Now, if you want to shortcut all of this, inside my program, I give you the exact pitch templates, portfolio layouts, and content ideas that land $1,000 to $3,000 brand deals, even if you've never posted before. So you can check it out right after this video. We're gonna link that down in the description below. But diving right back in, we've got step number 4, and that is the content churning machine. So you've sent the pitch, take a deep breath right now, just relax a little bit. Maybe the brand says yes, maybe they send you the product. That moment is really, really exciting, right? But here's the trap that most beginners fall into. They think, oh, sweet, I've made it. And then they shoot one video, but one video isn't going to change your life or buy you freedom from your 9 to 5 job. So you need to turn that first yes into a content machine, a system that lets you create once, get paid more, and keep the client coming back for months. It's basically a cheat code, right? And almost nobody actually uses it. So here's why it's so powerful. The brand gets multiple variations to test across different platforms without having to hire more creators. And that saves them time, it saves them budget, and it saves them a lot of risk, right? So you get paid more per project without adding more shoot days. You become more valuable to the client, and you're way more likely to get repeat work. So here's how to do it. When you got the product in your hands, don't just film one video, make 3, 4, even 5 completely different ones. And I'm not talking about tiny edits of the same clip. I mean fresh hooks, fresh angles, fresh concepts, right? So here are the 4 types of videos that you could do. First is the aesthetic or product focused video where you don't even need to show your face. You can just include some cool B-roll shots and some overlay music, but the product should be the star of the show here. Next is the unboxing video where you film yourself unboxing a product for the first time. The tone here should be casual and real, like you're just talking to a friend, right? And then you've got the voiceover video, which will be hands only. That would be clean B-roll and a voiceover of you talking about what makes that particular product so special. And finally, the review or demonstration video, where you show the pain point first and then you talk about how the product fixes it. So there you have it, all from one shoot day, right? You can create all of that, one product on your counter. Well, why does this work so well? Because the brand doesn't know which style will win. So that voiceover might dominate TikTok, while the review crushes on Instagram Reels. By giving them variety, you help them win faster without hiring 3 different people. For you, it means not starting from scratch every single time. You're building a content library in a single day, making your time way more efficient and your income way more predictable. So now that you know how to turn one product into a content machine, let's talk about the part that actually makes you money, which is gonna be your pricing, right? Bonus tip, we're gonna be going over a pricing system. Now, if you're just starting out, you might feel a bit nervous about what to charge, but you don't have to guess. So here's a simple strategy that you could apply right now. So use a price high enough to be taken seriously, but low enough to make brands feel comfortable giving you a shot. So as a beginner, $100 to $150 per short form video is a solid starting point for most niches. But here's the mistake a lot of creators make. They only sell one video at a time, and one-off videos means one-off paydays. So instead, you want to use packages. Packages make you more money and make the brand's decision a lot easier. So here is exactly what that could look like. One video, $150. 3 videos, $400. 5 videos, $600. You can see what's happening here, right? So from the brand's perspective, the price per video drops when they buy more. So it feels like they're getting a real deal from you. So from your perspective, you're already set up. The product's already in your hands, so you can film those extra videos in the same session without relying on or multiplying your workload. And this is where the content machine idea becomes a revenue machine. You're taking the exact same shoot day and turning it into more deliverables and more content, which means more income and more client satisfaction. Plus, here's the hidden benefit. When a brand buys 3 or 5 videos from you, they're going to need more down the road. So they'll come back, not because they're being nice, but because you've already proven that you can deliver content that fits their style and gets them results. So as a beginner, I want you to remember this: charge enough to be respected. Package your work so you get paid more without working more. All right, so let's do a quick recap. If you remember nothing else from this video, then I want you to remember this. Pick one niche and study what's working in it right now. Pitch brands directly and use platforms like Join Brands to get quick wins. Turn one product into multiple unique videos. Use a simple pricing system that makes upgrades a no-brainer for the clients. And remember, the perfect gear, the perfect shot, the perfect pitch, they don't exist. Your first videos, they're gonna suck. That's totally fine. Post them anyway. The faster you start, the faster you get better. Every video that you make is training for the next one that lands you your next client. And if you followed the exact steps that we went through inside of this video, you are already ahead of 99% of people trying to break into UGC, 99% of creators. So thank you so much for watching. If you want my personal step-by-step guidance from building your portfolio to pitching to scaling past $5,000 a month, join me inside of the Freedom Creator Accelerator. Here we guarantee to make you $3,000 to $5,000 per month within 90 days. So if you want to apply for the program, you can book a free call with me or someone from my team by clicking on the link down below. Thank you so much again. I hope you're having an absolutely beautiful day over there, and catch you all again real soon. Peace.